Hi, I'm Rob and this is Gems of War. In this video I'm going to show a few teams for the new Mythic troop Ahries. First team will require a couple of extra Mythics, but the second team is kind of really low cost and doesn't require any more Mythics whatsoever. As a spell, this thing is kind of pretty limiting to me. It deals a random amount of damage, so there's no guarantee it's going to kill an enemy even if you think there's a high chance it should. Then only if they die will it explode 8 gems. As well as that, the damage is limited to the first enemy, which makes it just feel a little bit like you have no real scope to work with this thing. It's like kind of controlling you rather than you controlling it. And that extends further to its traits. Clobber, deal double skull damage versus stunned enemies, and Stone Skin, reduce damage from the skulls by 50%, suggests to me this troop was designed to be in first place. You can't get that deal double skull damage versus stunned enemies unless this troop is in first place. So that means it's in first place. Quite often it's a dangerous place for a Mythic to be, and with that spell being quite low, depending upon who you're fighting, you're not going to get the kill on the first cast, so you're going to have to get this thing charged up at least twice unless you can do damage elsewhere. Luckily there is a way we can do that, and there is a way you can boost the damage too. Now, Fairy Fire is a good way of boosting damage. What Fairy Fire does is increases the damage to spells output by 50%. Now Ulor and Vernalis are two very good troops for doing this. Queen Titania does it as well. But with Ulor, you simply have to get blue gems, just make a simple match on blue gems to Fairy Fire and freeze a random enemy. His spell is really good too. Eliminates attack from the first 2 enemies, magic from the last 2, and drains all the mana from the 2 strongest enemies. Vernalis works in a similar way, but his spell is beneficial to our team, and he entangles and fairy fires a random enemy when matching green gems this time. So simply by matching green or blue, we've got a chance of fairy firing that first enemy, which is what we want to boost up the damage of Ahries. The hero weapon, we explode 22 brown gems with the Jar of Eyes, and it has a summon as well in case we lose him. We're in Tidecaller class, so we're going to explode a blue gem when matching 4 or more gems, which helps mana generation. And we're going to go for Snap Freeze, Insulated, Anti-Magic Sphere, Mana Source, Deluge, Water Mastery, and Eternal Summer. In the talents and the medals, we're going to go for 1 medal of Anu and 2 medals of Orpheus because we have no natural cleanse in this team. Banners wise, gone for +2 blue, +1 green, -1 yellow. I know Ahries uses yellow, but it's not as important as blue and green, which is far more important. And basically, we try and collect blue, get one of those, the first enemy fairy fired, get them frozen, and take it from there, basically. Right, let's see what we have in store on the PvP. Right, that is not the team I would normally fight with this one, so we'll see what this one is. Okay, this is the sort of team we'd fight with this, not on level, just on the personnel. We'll normally go Elementalist class, something like a String Peddler who's going to silence you and get loops and things like that. So we'll always take 4 matches anyway. This team isn't going to be particularly mega fast because the nature of the way this troop works, it's just not really viable, I don't think, to get a particularly fast team. But I've got an okay fast one, which does work semi-well. That's in the team after this, so hang around for that one. Not getting any blue offers whatsoever, so I hope for a surge on green, which we got. Now I can explode all these brown. Alright, we can take the skull hit and get a 4 match and hopefully get some fairy fire going on, but it hasn't affected the first troop. So what we can do, it's got 71 to 143 damage, so this has got a very high chance of eliminating the first opponent. If it does, we'll get an explosion, which will help mana gen. Then when these get anywhere near charging, we can cast Ulor, which is going to eliminate attack from the first 2, 32 magic from the last 2, and drain mana from the 2 strongest enemies. But we don't need to do that just yet. That was quite useful. Let's, should we close to death now? Let's do this. Hoping for one more skull hit really, because we don't want to actually waste that spell doing that. Nah, let's just cast Ulor just because it's effectively a free cast. Right, let's get her out of the way. Now with that Fairy Fire, ordinarily that would be impossible because it's 71 to 143 and that is above that, that's like 184. But with the 50% boost, this has got a reasonable chance. No, it was only 120, so that was already towards the lower end of damage anyway. But still worked out okay in the end. And an all-round comfortable victory. And didn't need to cast Venalis then, but if you get a chance to cast Venalis early, you can, because that gives attack boost to the first two troops, which is obviously Ahries. So when you get those skull hits, you get further damage that way as well. And basically, you cast Ulor whenever the enemy is getting close to getting mana charge. Just look at the two strongest enemies, and then that is the ones that are going to have the mana taken away. And the other benefits as well. So that's a silly team. I'll do. Oh, this will be interesting with the with that. That's going to create 2 skulls per round times 2. So that'll be intriguing. Create 2 skulls when my turn begins. So very good team with web spinner. But I'll do that one. I'll show the second team now. This is a low cost team. No extra mythics required. Still got Ahries in first place. But then we've got Rock Troll. Then we've got Krista's Scythe and Shegra. Now, with Ahries being a construct, there's no natural way to give this any sort of fast start. But we can give it a fastest start, and the best way to do this is by being in Titan class for this team, which means we get all the giant allies start with 50% mana, and Rock Troll is a giant, so he's going to start with 50% mana as well. So basically just a single mana surge on purple will mean we're ready to go and create, hopefully, an absolute ton of brown for everybody else. We're in Titan class. We're going to have Impact, Counter Attack, Stone Circle, Storm Aura, Rock Solid, Stone Mastery, and Fortitude. Storm Aura, really important, creating a dust storm at the start of the battle. We want lots and lots of brown for this, and the medal set is exactly the same as last time. On the banners kind of side of things, I've got +2 red, +1 brown, -1 blue. Now you can have a little twist on this if you like. You can do a little thing, like this is based around a Titan. But if you like, you can move Krista's Scythe up to 3rd place and put Ahries in 3rd place and change the class to Sunspear. And the reason why that is good is because in the talent trees, the last one, if you got it, is Fireblade, which deals triple skull damage to burning enemies. Now Shegra, his 3rd trait, burn a random enemy when matching red gems. We'll be getting a certain amount of red on this, and basically means you get triple skull damage if that happens, but you do need to have the hero in 1st place for that to work. But I'm going to roll it this way around. The idea is we get Rock Troll charged up. We've got a Dust Storm going, which is brown. We collect loads of brown, and basically, if we can, we want to cast this first. This stuns all enemies, then creates 3 elemental stars, which charges up the team at the same time. With that stun, Ahries will do double skull damage, which will be very, very good if Shegra does his job properly. Right, so let's try this one. But this is a very dangerous team, because if they get this going straight away and they land in the right place, Web Spinner will kill our team very quickly. So this is not ordinarily the team I would pick for this, but no little choice, because that's what was there when trying to show this team. So we've got purple. That's not too bad. And we've got Surge. We've got 10, so roughly a 50-50 chance, I would say, of getting a extra turn out of this, which we did. Now, this is where we have to risk things slightly, because basically, if we do this, we'll stun all the enemies, which is really good, because then we'll get double skull damage. And if that works, we can cast Shegra and then do a load more damage, hopefully. But if we set up Web Spinner, it could go absolutely horribly wrong. But because this does not affect the way the gems are going to be on the board, because you have to kill somebody to get that explosion, casting that troop will actually be no benefit whatsoever, and will actually gift them that skull hit. So we may as well go with Shegra, because we've got this red here. with Shegra, because he creates 6 red gems, then turns all red gems to skulls, basically we're guaranteed this hit here straight away, and we just want another one somewhere, and hopefully we'll wipe out that web spinner. Right, so we got an extra turn out of it. Didn't go as well as I'd hoped. Hoped for some more damage than that, but we can now cast this. He's got 112 left. That's 50-50 in the land of will that kill him or not. And that's the thing with this troop. Do you risk it or not? There's a lot around there, so I'm going to risk this. We'll stun the enemy, we'll create elemental stars, and we did manage to get an extra turn out of that. So now we're going to get double damage out of this. That'll do 112, which is enough to kill that web spinner. And again, we've got double skull damage here. 122, which is about, you know, the average its spell was going to cast if you cast a spell, and that's from skull damage now, which is pretty decent. But because we're doing that damage, if we cast that on the first troop, which we have no choice but to cast on the first troop, I don't know why I said that, but it killed them, and we do generate skulls from that, which is charged up Shegra. We can charge Shegra, and then we get in the extra skull damage because they're stunned, and a straightforward victory. So the troop is viable, but things do have to go your way. That is 2 teams that I've got that made it work pretty decent. But overall, I don't think it's a troop that I'll be throwing into that many teams. It may work on some Explore level 12s. Maybe not. I have to experiment with that. But there's 2 teams that work pretty well with that troop. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Got many more videos coming in the future on Gems of War, including lots of Explore level 12 ones as well. But most of all, thanks for watching. See you again next time. Bye for now.